We're back, baby.
Hello, thank you for listening. This is the Summit Mentality Podcast with me and Travis Owls. How are you doing today, Travis?
Hello, I'm not bad, thank you, Ted. How are you, Ted?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for taking the time out of your day.
Honestly, it's been a big hassle trying to get this all going, but we're here, we're ready.
It's been a lot of organisation to get this done, but here we've just came back last weekend from the disgusting UK Berkeley Marathons. How many marathons can we run in 24 hours? All guided by map and compass, and
we're very skilled with map and compass that we learnt over that weekend.
Yes, very skilled. We've really got our shit together. But it was an absolutely brutal race. Probably the most disgusting thing. Do you want to set the scene? Tell us how it went for you, Travis.
I can set the scene. So, the Berkeley Marathons. It was. Well, should we go back a few days prior? I feel like that's where we should start. So. This year, Ted and I, we've had a wild race calendar. We've had the Snow 24. We've had the Berkeley Marathons, both of which we've been very ill prepared for.
What?
More Ted than me, I think.
Whoa!
Not in terms of like training. In training wise, like we've both been pretty ready. But like nutrition.
Oh yeah. In terms of preparation on the day,
actual race day prep.
Horrendously prepared. Training fine. That's what got us through. But we were packing the morning about an hour before we were meant to be leaving.
So our support crew, Callum Bratt, thank you, Callum, for coming along and being our support crew. Couldn't have done it without you because we would not be able to drive home the next day. But Callum was picking us up at 2:30 here in Chelmsford to then get to Berkeley for the signing in, which you've got to be there before 7:00. Berkeley's a 4-hour drive.
It was close.
Yeah, so if you do the maths, really.
So sadly, we had to be the annoying ones that once everyone had turned up, they had to sit and wait for us to get there. Luckily, Snowdon was also very ill prepared in that sense. We just last minute and everything. That's our lesson learned for the next ones. But
we said that for Snowdon.
Yeah, we did say that for Snowdon. Every other race we've ever done, ever. Let's be more prepared. Fail to prepare, prepare to fail.
But you know what? I think. As much as we were unprepared, I think we were as prepared as we could be going into a race where we didn't really know what was going to happen.
Yeah,
that was the first time where I had zero expectations of what it was going to be like, other than as we were driving there, it's very hilly.
Yeah, it was very hilly. It was actually brutal. So we turn up there the day before for a race briefing. We get given our maps and we have to. What's the word? Sharpie down the route on our ones so that we can look at them later. Because if you go wrong, you're disqualified from the race. And you don't really want to be disqualified for the race because I've just paid 80 quid to be there. So
and you could be 20 miles in.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't know until you get back. But basically, we turn up and then we have... it's quite a cult following. It's sort of a different type of ultra, this one. He was trying to pester us to drink more Guinness the night before. So we did. We had a couple Guinness.
So we did,
yeah. Oh no, I'm seeing error messages on GarageBand.
Oh, it's okay.
It's okay. So we get there. We have a few Guinnesses. We're on top of the world, and obviously because we get a bit of Dutch courage, we're like, obviously we could probably do 100 miles, right? 4 marathons. No, not
a chance.
It was not happening. So we turn up on race day. Everything's ready. Starts off with Paul. Was Paul his name?
It's Paul.
Big up Paul. Go on, Paul.
Paul at Gert Lush Events.
Yeah, actually, to be fair, I'm kind of putting this story without any context. Basically, the race is based off of one of the hardest races in the world called the Berkeley Marathons in the US.
I think it's based in northern US.
Place called Berkeley, I think.
Yeah. Oh man.
We've got good banter on this.
I mean, I think it's I want to say it's towards Colorado way.
We probably should have done our research this, but who cares? We didn't care. But
it's very mountainous.
The Paul guy at the run show went, it's based off of that really hard race. Have you heard about it? I was like, yeah. He was like, do you want to do a UK one? Yeah.
Ted already knew about it. I had no idea. Being the very ill ultra runner that I am, I've got no idea about what these are.
Yeah, so I just say, Travis, we're doing this, and he just arrives and destroys the competition. So that's what he does. So we turn up on the race day, and basically it starts off with the go. There's no firing gun. There's no big go, go, go. It's literally Paul stands there, at 9 o'clock in the morning and downs a beer, and once that beer is finished, that is you going over the start line.
And as we go over the start line, everyone shouts, "Don't die."
Yeah, don't die. That was it. It was actually quite scary, but it was fun.
You were sort of going out. I mean, I've never been to Berkeley. I've never run a solo ultra marathon before, other than our 50k as our prep,
training K, yeah.
which in itself was shit.
That was brutal. That was more boring. But anyway, we're the first marathon. We go round. Me, Will, and Travis. We watch a woman nearly get trampled. Right, let's just put this in.
All right,
let's
yeah.
just talk about
I think we
this.
should do mile by mile.
Let's talk about this health and safety problems of this race, right? So we turn up first. It's all fine. And the first obstacle we come to is we were told at race prep there will be no cows, 0 cows on any of the route.
But we're in the Cotswolds.
So clearly the farmers are like, you know what, fuck these runners. I've got cows to look after. Fair enough. Totally understandable, to be honest. So we get there into this field and there's, I reckon, 60 cows.
Yeah.
Like bulls and cows
so
with calves.
We're following this map. And it says we've got to go over to the far left of the field. That's where said cows were. Literally by their troughs as well. That's where we should have gone.
They were surrounding that gate like it was there.
We started to go right. These 2 women behind us ignored that. And they carried on going towards the cows.
Directly
towards the cows. So there was another group in front of us. They were already like through this fence and up on top of this like railway.
They're trying to find a weird route to go around so they don't disturb the deadly herd of cows.
Yeah. And then we sort of followed there where they were heading. And as they were doing that, one lady decided to start running towards the cows. To which the cows did not like. So they ran towards her instead.
At full speed. They run round to literally at her. She dives over the fence. Probably like 5 metres, I reckon, until she would have died. That was scary.
The cows they then stopped. Yeah. They did stop. And then all I remember was Will being slightly in front of me, Ted being slightly behind, and these cows then decided to run past us, hitting like all the troughs, making a massive noise, and Will turned around and just went, Now, run! So that was welcome to ultra running. Yeah. It was a good warm welcome. I think it was definitely the most entertaining run I've ever done in my life. Like lap 1 was very entertaining. Lap 2 was still fairly entertaining because you were still sort of going through the bits. Like there was a cornfield, like maize. Yeah, literally 2 miles after this cow field, you climb through like knee-high stinging nettles and thorns up a 45-degree hill to then go through like a 7-foot-high cornfield, and you have no idea where you're going. Yeah, I mean, the only reason why we knew we had to go straight through this cornfield was because Will pulled up Google Maps and said, "Yeah, there was a path through here at one point. Let's just go." Let's go. Yeah. So it was it was all brutal. The route was just filled with stupid stuff like that. It was literally. We're not gonna. He's done some tips, like little tricks out there, but we can't tell you because it's. He was like, "Don't tell anyone about next year," so you go in blind. But there's a bunch of things that he did that you just wanted to hit him in the face when you found out. It's well worth it. So the idea of it, I don't think we've actually covered the idea of the Berkeley Marathons. So basically, you've got to try and complete 5 laps. 1 lap's a marathon. While you're going around to make sure that you're actually hitting all these checkpoints and the bits that you're meant to collect pages of books. So my first page on the first lap was like 23. Second was 141. And the third lap was 433, I think. Something like that. It's a page in a book, isn't it? Yeah, mate. Yeah, they're all up here, mate. Yeah. They're all up here. I'm still scarred. I can remember the stories. Yeah, I read every page from page to page. But yeah, there was 10 checkpoints that we had to go to. And then on each checkpoint there was like a riddle or a maths question just to really fuck with you afterwards. And then there's like a hill that you got to go up. There's a monument. There's like cow fields, stinging nettles. Like it's a brutal race. It makes it very entertaining, but yeah, that's pretty much what the Berkeley is. Berkeley Marathon. He told me, he nearly disqualified me for calling it the Berkeley, even though it is in Berkeley in the Cotswolds. But you know, we'll allow that. And it's called It's spelled Berkeley. Yeah, but it's the Berkeley Marathons UK. But so we'll go through how it went
for both of us, shall we?
Hey.
So we run.
Start, go on.
You want me to start? Yeah. We'll go through, because his is a bit less eventful than mine, I'd say, to be fair. You just beasted it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it was beasted to a point.
Yeah.
There was a point where we both were ruined men.
Yeah, we were ruined. It was actually horrible. So first marathon we run together, actually fine. Felt pretty good afterwards.
Well.
Yeah, no, true. Actually, no, I forgot our key point.
Take all of that back.
Actually, the in terms of fitness and running,
I would like to chip in.
I know what you're about to say about the 8 miles till the end.
Yes.
Yes, so we'll get there. We'll set the scene.
Back to where we were ill prepared.
Yes, this is where ill preparedness comes in. And it was my fault.
Yes.
It was actually totally my fault. So we're running the first marathon, fine, legs are fine, fitness is fine. It's a hot day. It's a very hot day. It was like 30 degrees humid. Get there, and so stupid, because I just packed as fast as I possibly could, is I only had 1 litre of water, which is like rookie error. If you're ever doing an ultra marathon, pack at least 2.5 litres of water in that bladder. The one easily accessible straw. Do it, or it will end your race.
Guess who did pack 2.5 litres of water?
Travis packed 2.5 litres of water. I packed 1 litre of water and ran out of water almost instantly.
So together we had 3.5 litres of water.
Because I was
So Ted decided to say, we're in this together. 3.5 litres of water between two sounds lovely. Until you're doing it in 90% humidity and 26 degrees outside.
And then you hit, well, actually, each lap was 28 miles, so a bit longer than a marathon. And we had 8 miles to go, and we realised that we had no water left between us and nowhere to refill.
We've gone past the refill points that we didn't realise were there at this point because we were ill prepared in listening to the race brief.
Yeah, so we missed out the refill points as well. So the last 8 miles was actually probably one of the most disturbing things I've ever done. I remember watching you two watching Will and Travis run in front of me in this field, and the sky was pure blue, no clouds. And the sky just started shaking and zooming in and out. And I was like, everything was fading in and out. I was like, I actually am in a little bit of danger here.
I just ran off.
It was, Travis just left me. No, it was horrible. It was actually horrible.
Yeah, that was one of the worst experiences I think I've ever had in terms of dehydration.
I was just sad.
Yeah, I didn't realise I was so dehydrated until we got back from that first lap, went out for the second lap. Second lap gone out. Ted and Will seemed absolutely fine. Like you were storming ahead, and I couldn't run. Yeah. Like, physically, mentally, just did not want to move. And I remember like putting a little prod on, and like you turned around and sort of said, "I was like, mate, why are you sprinting out the gate?" And I remember you going, "Mate, we're doing like 8, what is it? We're doing like 12-minute miles." I was like, nah, there's no way. Mate, I was ruined.
I forgot about that. Yeah, right at the beginning, because I felt strong. As I'm coming out, I was like, I don't know what pace we need to hit.
I felt like I had like heat stroke.
You probably did, to be fair. Because I got back in, and a bit too much information, but this is ultra running for you. I went for a wee first thing to see how dehydrated I was, and it was like Diet Coke coming out. So it was bad. It was quite dangerous things. I walked in, I probably had 3-4 litres of water and loads of Will's electrolyte stuff. And felt fine, felt fresh. Yeah, literally, we're running. I'm running at the pace. I'm like, I'm going to hold at the pace that we need to hit, like, minimum. And Travis is like, Ted, you're sprinting. I'm like, I'm sorry to let you know, mate, but we are not sprinting.
Honestly, that first little bit, like, we were running through a field, and that field felt like it was like waist high grass. It was up to like my ankles, but I just could not move. Like my legs didn't want to move, and it was like, I think it was about 4 miles in, that's when the water finally hit my system, and I was like, I was flying. I was all good from that point on.
That's
where the tables turned. We literally flipped roles near enough.
It was almost, I think, about 4 miles. This is where it all started. My race came to a, not an end, definitely not an end, but it
will never end for Ted Strauss.
No, it never fucking ended. I'm still racing it today in my head. The PTSD was so bad. So we get about 4 miles in, and my knee, I used to have this injury like when I first started running when I was 18. It's like the outside of my left knee. I don't know what it is, to be fair.
That is your,
I think it's connected.
There's your adductor and your abductor. I think that's your abd.
I can't confirm whether that's correct, but I believe Travis. So yeah,
That's your
Knee.
ankle knee joints going sideways into your Pythagoras theorems.
my Pythagoras
Yes.
theorems. I'll get a protractor out and fix it then. Yeah, and about 4 miles in, it starts to twinge up a little bit pain, like not bad at all. I was like, this is just running. Like this happens every time you go for long runs. Things start to hurt. We're hitting like 30 miles now, so obviously things are going to start hurting. And then very quickly, each step, it'd get worse and worse and worse. And I could kind of hold it out, though. Will gave me some absolute killer painkillers, which actually just stopped it from hurting for a good few miles. I was like...
Which is always good when you know that it's probably an injury you should stop overall anyway.
And then we get there, and then we get to the 10-mile mark. We're marching up these hills. I'm hitting the pace, fine, keeping up with the boys. Literally, I'm like, my knee hurts. But it's not that, but it's bearable, it's manageable,
Yeah.
I think is the word.
Ted did go to me, because obviously I was still dehydrated at this point. I was like, I can't run up or like on flat.
Yeah.
And Ted goes, well, that's good, because I can't run down hills. So we were a team to be reckoned with.
Yeah, literally, we get to the top of this hill, and then there's this bit which is just super steep downhill, and Travis likes to open up his legs on the downhill as fast as he can, let the things move, let the blood pump. And normally, actually, a lot of ultra runners say don't do it, but for us, it kind of does work a bit. I think
We're mountain runners. Like
yeah.
that's what I've formed my ultra marathons on. I like run up and down mountains.
We're mountain runners.
Yeah,
we're mountain goats.
Yeah, we're mountain goats.
So we get to this first downhill gradient, and I shit you not, the first step down that hill feels like someone has got a bazooka at point blank range and put it through the side of my knee. It was like bang, stabbed. I'm hobbling. I'm using my walking poles as literally crutches to get down this hill. I'm one knee off the floor, hobbling down. And this other guy who I'd spoke to before went to me, "Oh, you're right, mate." I was like, "My knee's fucked." It's like full blown injured. And he goes to me, "This is your race finished then, isn't it?" Like looking at me like I'd be stupid if I don't. And I had that moment in my head. I was like, you have about half a second to respond to this man, and this is the decision of how this race goes. And I went, I think I'm just going to finish this lap, and then I might call it a day. Bearing in mind this is 18 miles from the end. So I say to Travis and... Well, actually, Travis and Will were trying to get me to cheat a little bit. But I decided, yeah.
What a thing to say.
So they were like, we'll run down the hills, get your pages, and run back up, and then give you your thing. So then you can just get to the end of the hill section and do the flats.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, I could have done, but then I would have just told the guy I didn't do it.
Yeah.
But
Ted's a man of pride.
I'm a man of pride. And
Pride and honesty is what Ted's foundations are built on.
Nice. We'll take that. So I go, you know what? No, you lads just leave me. I'll do the whole race properly.
Shall I reenact on how you said it?
Go on.
You went, no, you lads leave me.
Tears come down. Go without me, boys.
Go without me.
Stay strong.
Yeah, and we went, you all right?
Yeah, it literally was. Yeah, you looked at me and went, "Are you sure?" Yeah, and you went, "Okay." Although then you gave me all my pages and you went to me, "I think I'm going to cry." That's what you said, yeah.
This was like the first ultra where it turned from like, this was our first ever solo ultra.
Yeah, it was.
First time ever running without each other. Like even Snowden, like we're obviously teams, so we're running up and down, we're still coming back to each other. This time it's like,
hi Ted.
Fuck, this is it.
Yeah.
This is it. Ted's going to be done after this lap. Like, how far can I go now? Like,
This
is it.
And because the whole time we're going, when I start to hurt, Will and Travis are like, we don't leave a man behind. Like, we're all going together.
Yeah.
We've got to do it. And then I was like, we're not going to hit the pace that we want to hit. So leave me.
All right. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, cool, fine. Thanks, man.
We didn't leave him by himself, though. We left him with another guy.
Well,
who was,
actually,
like,
the
ruined.
funny story is they thought they left me with another guy who went off to the checkpoint at the bottom of the hill, which was 20 metres away. I walked down to the bottom of that hill, and he just ceased to exist. But he was saying about how he was dropping out soon. So he clearly got to the bottom of that hill as you were giving me the page. In my head, I was like, it's okay, because I can talk to him for a bit and it'll be fine. Get down, not a soul. I was like, I guess I'm alone for the next...
I would have just checked the GPS tracker to see like if there was anyone else like behind. The thing is though, right, it's the people at the event, they were crazy. Like everyone to do that event, you've got to have some sort of like insanity level, you know? Like you've got to either be willing to go the distance, or you've got to be an ultra runner in yourself. They're the only two ways you're going to do it. So I would have thought that there would have been some other nutter out there who would have just like been injured and thought, do you know what, I'm halfway through, I'm just going to carry on going. No, that's not the case.
Everyone else pulled out when they got injured.
Yeah.
I actually, we'll get a bit deep on this one, but I literally I got to that point, and anyway, so I've got to go through, I've got this 18 miles, and it got pitch black, and it got very dark, and it was cold at that point, and no one around. Every so often I'd see a head torch come past, and they'd go, "You right?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, you?" And they'd be like, "No." And then that'd be the whole conversation. I'm marching, it's literally a limp. If you've seen Harry Potter, it's like Mad Eye Moody. With I have one stick, one walking pole, and my water bottle in my other hand.
Which this time you did have.
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. So I'm going, and it's taking me, I'm going up and down these hills, mile by mile, checkpoint by checkpoint. And then I get halfway through, and there's this big open field, which is like a mile long, and I'm just walking through it by myself. And this was the point where I'm hurting so much. I'm like, I've already done 8 miles, injured, limping. I've got 10 miles to go. I calculate I've got about 4 hours left at this speed. I know, that is bad. I was like, okay.
Mad, isn't it?
I was like, I've got about 4 hours left of this, and I'm in the worst pain I've probably ever been in, ever. It was horrible. I'm sitting there in my head going, I might come back with like a permanent limp after this, but I was like, fuck it, I'm here now.
You're in the race.
I was in the race.
Like, what are you really striving for after this? This is it for a little bit.
Exactly. I was like, I'm here. I'm finishing this fucking lap. And because there were points where I was like, I should stop. Anyone would tell me to stop. But I was like, you know what? This is everything I've talked about and everything I've stood for. And throughout my entire life, before I started this running journey, it's always been, as soon as there's a bit of adversity or things get tough, quit, give up, and then make up some excuse why it's fair. Which would have been, if I quit then, would have been a fair excuse to everyone. I could have gone to it, I got injured. Like, I pulled out because I was literally injured, had a fuck knee. No one would question it. You'd take piss at me. But, I mean, everyone else would go, fair enough, the boy got injured, and not think anything of it. And I could live off that. But every day, I'd think back and be like, I probably could have gone and finished that race. So
by finish, finish is like 5 laps, though.
Oh, fuck off. Yeah. No one completed
What are you going to ruin my moment for?
No one completed it.
No one was ever going to complete it.
So I was like, you know what? This is the moment where I can really see all of the progress I've ever made. All of my training ever has been more around, can I push myself a little bit further and hurt myself more and keep going? I've never really trained to be like quite scientific about it. Like, oh, I need to get stronger, faster, I need to do these sprints. It's just, I can't be asked to go out, so I'm going to go out and I'm going to do a long run because I'm lazy and it's going to hurt and it's going to force me to do something hard. So I was like, I was thinking, if I've already done 8 miles now limping and I can do 10 miles more injured and battered and bruised, my mindset at that point was so weak. I felt like a 5-year-old boy, alone, cold, in a field, injured. I was like, if I can keep going for 10 more miles, 4 more hours at 2 o'clock in the morning, if I can get over that finish line, I was like, I'm unbreakable. I was like, I can look at myself and say, motherfucker, you are one unbreakable motherfucker. I was like, so I'm going to do this, and I don't care if I'm going to whinge or I'm going to moan. So I started going one foot after the other, and I was like, and then I got to the point where I was just sad and bored, and I was like, I'm going to call my mum. Literally.
I felt like a 5-year-old boy in those fields, and I was like, I could do it, but I'm going to call my mum.
I'm going to call my mum. So I had like a nice 20-minute call with mum as I'm limping along.
Did you tell her that you were limping?
Yeah, I told her what happened. But
you told her the context. Yeah, Mum, I'm only calling you, not because I'm dead, because like my knee really hurts. I'm in the middle of a field with loads of cows.
And I want my mummy.
My first point of call is you.
Yeah, she appreciated it. It was lovely, actually. The first minute was her feeling sorry for me and me feeling sorry for myself. And I was like, let's just catch up. We're just sitting there just talking about life. It's quite nice, actually. And then every so often Travis would call me. And I probably gave you a false sense of security of how I was, because every time you called, I was like, I've got to be on like sound a bit positive for myself. So I'd be like, hi man, how's it going, bro?
Yeah, that sound alright. I did come off the phone multiple times and went, yeah, it sounds alright.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
I literally, Will goes, how was he? Yeah, he's alright, I think.
And I just got it, because if I sit there and phoned you up and went, I'm hurting. This is miserable. I'm just reaffirming it. So I was like, I've got to kind of trick myself that I'm okay.
Yeah. It's all a mindset game. Isn't
Yeah, I told a tree to fuck off at one point. That's how emotional I got, right? Because basically,
kicked it as well with his bad knee.
yeah, I attacked it. Fuck off.
Fuck off.
I literally had my rucksack, one walking pole, and then my other hand was my water bottle because I was like, I need to keep drinking.
Where was your other walking pole?
In the back. So this is why I
okay.
told the tree to fuck off. It was a dickhead tree, to be fair. So I had this,
Hate those trees.
I had this rucksack
Hate those
on,
trees, man.
and I put my walking pole in my bag, but it was too long to like go, so it was hanging out the top.
Yeah.
And there's this one section where you're literally going through, before the underground bridge bit.
Oh.
Yeah, so there before this
I know
there's
exactly
like
the bit.
literally. Actually, it's probably taller than your head of just thorns, stinging nettles, and there's like the thinnest little route through where people have walked through it before. But I was like, I've got to find a different way through because I can't get through that because half of it you have to actually go on, like stand on top of the bush. And in this race, you're allowed to like detour off the route a little bit as long as you don't go into the red zone. So I was like, I can probably go through the forest on the side, which was like. I had to crawl at one point, like crawling through the.
Bear Grylls.
Yeah, it was either the stinging nettles and the thorns, or crawl through like the wiry bushes. I was like, I could do that and then go on the slope.
The bit that I'm thinking about, there's a road in there at the top.
Yeah, but that was I don't know if you could run on the road.
You could.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
Look, we done that every lap.
Right.
With you at one
No. We're talking about different. No, I know what you're talking
under the
about.
bridge where the box is.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Before that, the first one we did it where we were. There was like 8 of us.
Oh, you're still coming that way round because I've done that on my third lap. Carry on.
Anyway, there was one bit where I might be learning now that I didn't have to do this, but
I think you are.
I'm crawling through this bush, and then I feel something tugging on my back, and then literally the bush just goes ping, and my hiking pole literally gets flung 10-20 meters backwards, and that's taken me 5 minutes to traverse. So I've now got to crawl back to go get my walking pole, and I just went, just fuck off, and like hit the branch. And then I actually laughed at that point because I was like, you're going delusional, mate.
Ted's now got a broken wrist.
Yeah.
Broken knee, broken wrist.
So, anyway, enough of me moaning, really. I carried on, got to the end. Well, we're like a few miles out, and the longest bit ever was the 1 mile from the end. No, I hit you guys.
Yeah, you did.
So
in the deer park.
So when you do the first 2 laps, you go clockwise, and then the third, 4th lap, I can't remember. After the second lap, you go anti-clockwise. So that was my bit of hope. I was like, at one point, Travis and Will meet me on the way back. And we're going through, and I'm pretty sure I had my first hallucination, or I was just going delusional. First ever ultra. I'm walking through this deer park, empty. Oh, actually, did you see the deer?
I did see the deer, yeah. They were massive.
They're massive. And you're just walking through this field, and all of a sudden, like 40 pairs of eyes just like ping up into the yard.
They're massive antlers as well.
Huge.
Massive.
I was like, this thing's going to kill me. So I'm going through, and my first ever hallucination, as I'm walking on the path, flat, nothing around me to be seen, and then all of a sudden in my peripheral vision, this sheep that's probably the size of like a chihuahua just ran past me, turn around, literally nothing there. I could see it in my peripheral vision until I turned my eyes and it was gone. I was like, cool. Man's hallucinating now. Yeah, so finally I bump it, I see, it was actually quite emotional. It's like film now. I'm walking through this deer park, and then over the hill comes there was one where one spotlight came, and I was like, no, is that them? That could be them, and it wasn't. And then they came past, and they're like, you're right. I was like, yeah, fine. They go, I'm like, please be Travis and Will. And then at one point, I'm going hobbling along, and then 2 pop up. One pops up significantly, the height difference. I'm not enjoying. It made me laugh as well. I was like, that's funny because one head torch was significantly higher up than the other.
Yeah, I had mine on my waist.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm so happy to see these boys.
I'm so happy to see this odd-looking pairing of head torches. This like, slanted car that is like that.
Yeah, I was either I'm about to get run over or it's Travis and Will. And then we turn up and they're there. They're delusional as well. I can tell no one's got any energy. And Will's just like, Ted, have jelly beans. I was just like, more jelly beans.
Those jelly beans saved me on that second lap, mate.
Imagine.
honestly.
They were so good. I was living off jelly babies and Cliff Bars on my second one, to be fair.
I ate so much food. So much food.
Yeah.
I burnt 9,000 calories, consumed about 15,000.
Yeah, mate, it was mental how much you burnt there.
I've still not, like, recovered from how much I've eaten. Like, I've eaten so much that I feel like I've just bloated 24/7
Yeah,
for like the past week. Carry on.
But, yeah, so we got, like, the last mile to the end. And then anyway, it takes ages. I managed to walk there. I see this is actually second hallucination is I'm walking towards the end and I know that Callum's waiting for me at the finish line, but he had come further up the road onto like this roundabout before you get into the race village, and he was stood there filming me with his camera, and I was like, oh, Callum's come out, and I get closer and there's nothing there. There's not even a bush that looks like Callum. I was like, oh, maybe he's just walked back again. Turn around and he's at the start line. I was like, Callum, were you up there? He was like, no, I weren't up there. I was like, that's fucking weird. Like, it wasn't like really obviously Callum. It was like colours and stuff.
Callum is 6'8" as well.
Yeah.
So if it was really, it would obviously be Callum. If you knew.
Anyway, I get to the end. I ring the ceremonial bell. The guy says to me, as a joke, he's like, oh, so you going up for your third one then? I was like, no. He was like, well, I'm going to take your number off because I'm not actually going to let you run anymore. I was like, fair play. And also like, thank you. Thank you. I ring the bell.
You made me quit. Not me. Yeah, exactly. You did.
Otherwise, I would have done another 3 more, maybe. Anyway, I ring the ceremonial bell, which means I'm out of the race. I crossed my name off, and I was like, motherfucker, I've done it. That was badass as fuck. Limping. It was amazing. But I think
88 kilometres.
88k, it was horrid. It was the worst emotional and physical pain I've ever been in my entire life. Like, easy. But I genuinely think, from all of that, the 2 main things that I learned, right? The one lesson I learned is, holy fucking shit, can we put ourselves through some immense pain and still crack on if you're willing to not quit? Like, the thing is, I have trained and prepared my mind, and in that whole situation I was going, this is what I'm trying to train for, this is what I'm trying to live for, this is who I want to be. But if I can do that, I genuinely think anyone can do something. You don't have to go through the injury. You should stop. I wouldn't recommend it. But if you're struggling to like just do that 5k because you go to yours. How many people do we have go to run club? I can't run 5k.
Yeah, everyone.
Like, yes, they say I literally cannot run 5k at the start, but I can tell you now, any human being, maybe not any. Like,
my brother even said that when he came last week for his first time, and he came and ran a 5k in like 27 minutes.
Yeah,
like,
decent. Yeah, there you go. So that's the thing. People, you can put yourself through so much more than we give ourselves credit for. And that was one of the things I learned. I was like, motherfucker, if I can get through that, I can get through anything. And that's the same for anyone. Like, I've never been that strong, super confident all the time, like go through pain. I'm not like marine mindset. It's literally just, I can get through shit. And the second lesson that I learned is when you're going through that stuff that's hard, and I think it isn't just physical training pain, or it could also bleed into your life when you're going through hard stuff. And I realised I had to keep reminding myself through this entire like 6-hour ordeal. The whole thing took me 10 hours in the end. That is hot. I was looking at the race results, like 10-hour marathon. That is horrible. I was like, the most important thing is that you genuinely have to keep that positive mindset.
Yeah.
Every time I'd feel a bit sad, I'd get lonely, I'd just be like, I'd have to remind myself and be like, what the fuck am I doing right now? I was like, why are you upset? Like, yeah, it sucks. Yeah, it hurts. Everything's going against what you want it to be. But you're out here, and you should have quit 8 miles ago, but you're still fucking walking along this field alone. I was like, you're badass, mate. That was it. And I was getting those positive nuggets. And I was like, if I can get to the end, I will get so much emotional gain from this. It's like, just remember, when it sucks, remember how good you'll feel after. And you've got to push yourself through that. And that is, I think, the 2 biggest things I learned from that race.
I feel like learning, with that, where it is that first solo ultramarathon, learning on that is so different compared to like what we've done at Snowden and what we've done like that 50k. Like, the lessons I learned on that were mental. Like, I've never experienced anything in life at all, well, obviously, anything in life at all about that. But my race was slightly different from Ted's. I didn't have like injuries or anything like that. My legs were tight. My legs were very tight. But we done a 50k like 3 weeks prior to that, and I had both underneath of both of my feet. Probably had a stress fracture. Did not wear the right shoes at all for that.
Yeah, that jacked you up, that 50k.
Yeah, that really...
I'm not going to lie to you, after that 50k, I was like, Travis ain't going to be able to perform. I just didn't... I was like...
I was worried as well. 50k, nearly shat myself. Like, honestly, it was the... it was the worst run I think I've ever had in my life. Boring. It was literally around like fields in Essex with nothing there. It was hot. It was just boring. The whole run was boring. That was a mental test in itself. I wanted to quit many times, many times. And then like with 5k left, the underneath of both my right foot, every step I take just felt like it was like cracking my like the middle of my foot. It's like plantar, but not plantar fasciitis. It was literally just
fucked foot.
Yeah, fucked foot, pussy feet, as I like to call them. So like, obviously that was playing in the back of my mind coming into that race. Like, I think it was like 4 days before my feet just suddenly woke up. I was like, oh, I'm alright, sick, I'll be fine. There were many times where I was like, this is probably a stupid idea turning up to Berkeley, but I'm gonna do it anyway, just because like if I have to walk it, I have to walk it. And I just do one lap. I mean, paid for it, so just got to turn up.
Yeah, but I haven't got a discount to be here, so I better fucking perform.
Yeah, he did go to us. You boys filming? This is the filming, Paul. This is it. This is what
we were meant to get
reel on my Instagram and this.
We were meant to get a crew, and then they backed out.
Is this harder to film than we thought? To be fair, like there's me just saying 1 kilometer in. It's like that. 1k in, feeling fresh. But yeah, so I had like slight injuries going into it. They were playing on my mind the entire time round. But like after that first lap, didn't feel too bad. Felt a lot better than what I thought. And that was 44k, so it was a little bit more than a marathon. And then our watches also came up with like 46k, so it's even more than what the route planned. Because obviously you're going wrong and left, right and centre, all that. Then second lap, still felt fine, came in and my legs were just a little bit tight. But me and Will, as we came in from that second lap, we both felt good. And we were confident that we were going to go for that third. The only problem is we came in and we had to do sub 8 hour for that third to be able to come back in. But where we were both relatively ruined, running was off the cards. Like, it was just going to be like a pleasurable stroll. It was 2 in the morning when we left, maybe.
Well, because you met me at 2:30.
Yeah. 2 in the morning when we left. And we were just walking. We said to each other, like, we'll just walk, stay together, have a nice little time. We were sick of each other by then. I could tell Will was 100% sick of me. Like, I could tell. I weren't sick of Will. I liked Will. He was not sick of me.
Will loved the company.
Oh, yeah, I bet. My ADHD, like, oh, Will, what are we going to do now, mate?
Still walk this line.
Yeah. Like, because where you do 2 one way, then on the third one you go the other way, so it keeps it a little bit more interesting, which is quite cool. We started going the opposite way round, pointing out everything that we were at and stuff like that, but you start off with this long road and you know your way through the roads. It was then you hit these fields where it's pitch black, you've got no idea where you're going. So we were like contemplating what way to go, all of that. We were having like, oh, it's that way, no, it's that way, oh, it's that way. So all of that stuff. Then we hit Ted in the in like the deer park. We were both like, a little bit of morale's just been lifted. We both felt good. And I think at that point we had like 4k to go till we hit 100 kilometres on our watches. In terms of race results, we had already smashed 100 kilometres by then. But when it's not on your Strava, it doesn't count. So we were like, oh, we'll just keep going. And Will was contemplating dropping out before the 100k. I was like, let's just hit 100k and then go from there. There's a bridge with like one of the books on it. I think it's like the 8th checkpoint. We were like, right, we'll get to there. And at that point, Will was like, right, I'm just going to call Gina. I'm going to drop out at that point. I was like, that's fair, mate. Like, you've smashed it. 100 kilometres is a fair goal. And he said, do you want to get picked up? Gina's only got 2 spaces, like one's for me, one's her. I was like, oh! I was like, do I call Callum and ask him to pick us both up? I was like, no, do you know what? I'll carry on going. A little bit of pride. I'll be like last man standing up the free. Do you know what? I'll go for it. I'll just do it. Do the rest of this by myself, where it's pitch black. Will's been picked up. I carry on going. It's all like road from this point. And it's just road with nothing else around you. And you probably
that where you had to go over the little footbridge thing. And then you go into someone's driveway.
Yeah, that's it.
I know what you're talking about,
And then you sort of hit the road where you got like the really nice house on the right. That one. I was coming along that road. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, the one in Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, that's
that
it.
one.
Yeah,
it looks like Eden Project.
Yeah.
House.
So it was like, it was really cool. Well, it wasn't really cool actually. At this point, it was like, this is shit. I was by myself, and that's the first time I've ever sort of run by myself that late at night after already doing 100 kilometres. Ever. First time ever. And I was sort of like there. I was like, lost a bit of company now. Maybe I'll whack on some music. Literally turned my volume all the way down to 0, pressed up 1, played the music. I was like, fuck, that's too loud.
That's what I did. I put on, you know, the song, I get knocked down,
Yeah.
and I get up again.
Yeah.
I put that song on. Literally, it's funny you say that, outside that guy's house. Went past it, I was like, I'm going to put that song on. And I sung it, and then I was like, Champagne Supernova came on. I was like, actually, I don't want to listen to music now. I was like,
I was like, mate, that's way too loud. Like, I literally can't listen to that. So I put it away, and I was like, right now it's really quiet. That's when the delusions started kicking in and started, like, that's when I then realised, like, physically wasn't fucked, mentally was fucked.
It was gone.
Yeah, like, I was every 2 seconds, like, spinning my head to see if there's anything following me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was bringing up childhood fears. I'm in the middle of the Cotswolds.
Yeah.
There's not going to be any people, just, like, ghosts, is what I thought.
Right, okay,
That's what I thought. So, like, as
you're getting chased by ghosts out here.
As Will left, he went, hopefully there's no ghosts and ghoulies. That's kick-started my fear of, fuck, there's going to be something behind me. Like, the entire time going down this road, woo, like, hoping nothing is there. And obviously, when you spin around really quickly with this head torch on, you see trees, bushes, and all of that, and your head is saying there's something there, mate.
Oh, because the shadows. And
yeah, they're like, there's something there, mate. You know there's something there. Your head's like, go on, you know it's there. And I like looked when like that started to try and run. I was like, fuck, no, I'm not running.
I can't run.
No, can't
you got scared, so tried to run.
So I can't run. You can laugh all you want,
mate. That is amazing.
You can laugh all you want, mate. But it's Patrick, like, it was terrifying. It was fully terrifying. But that's because I was like, what, that's 22 hours in.
Yeah. No, I can't blame you.
22 hours with no
funny,
sleep.
Like,
yeah, it is funny. I would laugh. Like, I still am laughing. But there, you get to this bit where there's this barn, and obviously where you've gone the other way, you know what's to the other side of the barn, and it's literally like all this churned up soil where the farmer's clearly gone through it with a plough, and you've got to walk over that, twisted ankles and all that. I was like, right, I can either walk along that field where there's no road, literally nothing to do with any civilization, just field, and then the other side of it is a cemetery.
You'd be looking at like a good few miles before you even have the option to get picked up.
So there's like the monument's the next book. So I've hit the river, the monument's next, but in between the river and the monument, there's road, which I've done, and then fields, and then 2 churches. One's got like they've both got like cemeteries and stuff like that outside of it. My childhood fear was the dark. Like, for me to be in the dark that long, Will was probably like an hour and a half gone at this point as well. And I was like, there's 2 things I could do here. Either I could go through that field and muster up a little bit of courage and be like, no, I'm going to be good. I'm going to be good. Like, if something is chasing me, I'll just get away from it. Or I could call Callum with no injuries, 110 kilometres down, call it a day there with like this massive milestone that I've hit. And I was at that point there, I was so proud of myself for hitting 110 kilometres. I was like, I would be so happy to call it there, knowing that I've quit essentially, because that's how the race works. Like, if you don't complete 5 laps, you've quit. That's what it is.
To put it in perspective, I don't think anyone even did 4 laps this year.
No, 3 laps was the most. No one's ever done 4 laps. No one's ever done. I don't think anyone.
I'd be someone one day will, but I mean, it's going to be a long time before someone does 5.
No one's ever doing 5. It's not.
Nah,
no one's ever.
But that's
doing
what
5.
everything in history. Someone's gone. Never happening. Someone.
All right, yeah, fair. All right, someone might do 5.
Someone one day.
I would love someone to do 5, but I just don't see it happening at this point, unless you've got someone who's like
marathons through that terrain. Yeah, that's going to be tough.
It's mental. But yeah, so there's a field in front of me. I'm like, right, do you know what? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to start going. Started going. There's this house on the right. Light comes on. Dog starts barking. I spin around. Walk back towards the road. I'm like, nope, fuck that. That was the point where I was like, right, 110k down. Callum, can you come get me, please?
That's so fun.
Yeah.
And that was it.
That was my race done. But it was sort of like, I don't know, at that point there, I was like, right, I've just done 110 kilometres. I'm in the car with Callum. He's like, mate, that's fucking crazy. You know, like, I'm the 5th. I came 5th in that thing. I was the 5th to last person to ring that bell, which in itself is like, oh, that's sick. You know, like, only 4 other people. The 4 in front of me did complete that 3rd lap. And they rang the bell after me. So, like, I came 5th, blah, blah, blah. The race results and stuff like that. Which is cool. But the whole point is like, even at the start, the guy who created the Berkeley overall, like Laz, he said, if you quit, you amount to nothing. That plays on your mind straight from the get-go, you know? But the whole thing is, like, the race is there to quit on.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't quit unless you come in after the time period, or you do the 5 laps. That's it.
Yeah.
And I was there like, no, like, Callum's like bigging me up. I'm like, yeah, that's sick. Wake up the next day, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Everyone's sort of coming up to me, congratulating me, stuff like that. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, 110k, that's mental. The day after, back to work, people are saying, congrats, how'd you do, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's actually not settled it. Like, I'm telling people, like, I quit because I was scared of the dark. like literally.
I quit because I'm scared of the dark.
Yeah, I literally, like, why did you stop? I was scared of the dark. That was it. Now I'm like, right, is the 110 kilometres ever going to settle in that I've done that? No. Now it feels like I've done nothing.
Now you say that, we have to go do something proper in the dark.
Mate, I've been searching up some proper proper races now. Although this is a proper race, I want to do, like, mad race. Because, like, it's cool. I get it. Like, everyone's saying to me, like, that's crazy how you've done that, blah, 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 blah. 110 kilometres, like, that's nuts. And it is nuts. Not everyone will be able to ever do, like, 88, 100, 110 kilometres. But it hit a point where my mind was playing so many tricks on me. Mentally, this is going to sound like a proper hypocrite, but mentally, I could have gone further if it was in the light.
Fair play. I love that. I love that you're honest about
it. Mate, I would gladly be honest about it, because that's where it fucked me up. It was a childhood fear that came back on me. Yeah. I had already done, like, it got dark at 7. I'd already gone from 7 until 5 in the morning. I got picked up at 5:30. I rang the bell at 6.
We need to do a challenge for you in the dark now.
We
need to do something like we've got to lock you in a room for 24 hours in the pitch black.
Not a chance.
That would be a good one.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I will be able to do it without... What done it was the 22 hours prior to that running.
Yeah, okay.
Like, if you said to me, right, let's go do, like, 150 kilometres, you will be in the dark, but you got to do it all by yourself. I'd be like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then it would hit a point where I'd be like, fuck, I'm scared.
This is terrifying.
Yeah, now I'm scared of the dark. But, like, I will gladly admit the reason why I stopped Berkeley is because I was scared of the dark. But that was because it was a childhood fear coming back onto me.
Unbelievable.
And being like, you're in the Cotswolds. The Cotswolds, it's known to be old. You're going past cemeteries. I'm like, mate, that's not to be mentioned.
Cemeteries and polo clubs.
Yeah, that's what the Cotswolds are full of, mate. Cows, polo clubs, and
those cows
ghosts.
were in that field at pitch black as well.
Oh,
I saw the eyes, and I was like, I'm dead.
Mate, one was laying down staring at me and Will, and all we heard was...
Oh no, Will was trying to get him to go.
Oh,
We'd be like walking past and we'd go, no!
Oh, mate. But, like, what I learned at Berkeley...
Yeah, number one lesson,
right? I sort of doubted myself before the race even started. I'm like... Because 3 marathons sounds like... to an ultra runner, it sounds okay. 3 marathons sounds doable.
Yeah.
What is it, like 120k?
I work in miles, so 26 miles times by 3, so 78 miles.
78.
So I don't fucking know. You're looking at about 100 and...
I done 68 miles. Right, okay. That's what I done. So I was only 10 miles off.
Yeah.
So that's like, that's about 20, that's 15k. So it's 15k off. To me, I'm like, that's... At the start of a race, it's like, oh, okay, sort of doable.
Easy.
Yeah, sort of doable. You start it, you're 2 kilometres in, and then you sort of turn to yourself and go, geez, I've still got 123 kilometres to go, and I'm feeling it already. You start to talk yourself out before you've even reached a milestone of it. And to be able to turn around and say, no, like, gotta keep going. The one thing I learned is my body can push so far.
Yeah.
So far that, a lot more is achievable than what I sort of ever thought was achievable. Like, I'm now planning, I don't know why I'm planning, but I'm now planning, like, other 100-mile, 100-kilometre races.
I think we've got to get that 100-mile in. Well, we got...
Which is nuts, because before this, you were saying 100 miles not doable for, like, a few years. Now we're like,
now, even after going through what we went from, still, like, Oh, with a year of training, we'll be okay.
We'll be able to do it. I reckon we'll be able to do it like next year.
I think we should, if we're going to do it, we'll do it after Snowdon in July.
Yeah.
We've got Snowdon 24 again in July, which also, we've got a load of people from Run Club coming to do with us. There's going to be like 10 of us.
Yeah.
So
Snowdon's going to look like a pussy game.
I know, after doing that, I was like, Snowdon's like kids play.
Yeah. But Snowdon is boring.
Although Snowdon, I actually think now is a fantastic entry to ultra running.
Yeah.
Because you can, it's 15k up and down the mountain, which also is harder than 15k because the
terrain,
horrible terrain.
It's a mountain.
But after doing that, I genuinely think Snowdon's going to be still going to be hard, obviously, but mentally it's going to be a lot easier than it was.
I think the thing is with Berkeley, compared to Snowdon, you're out there for like what?
2.5 hours.
Yeah, 2.5 hours max, 3.
Mm-hmm.
Berkeley, you're out there for 7, 8, 9, 10. Like there was 2 people who came in. Fair play to them. They done it. I think they literally got back when I got back from my second lap. Fair play to them, and they just walked it. They walked the marathon. Fair play, but time on your feet on that compared to Snowdon is so different.
Yeah.
Snowdon, you could take 2.5 litres of water. You will get through it, but by the time you get through it, you will be at the bottom.
Yeah.
Berkeley, you will get through it a quarter, halfway through.
Yeah. When you're hitting like Berkeley, it was all problem solving at that point.
Yeah.
Things start to hurt. You're chafing up. Things are broken. You're like, what can I do now to help myself? And it's literally problem solving, like one step at a time. But I think the whole thing from these ultras is just learning what you're actually capable of doing. I genuinely believe that you can't become a stronger, better person in any aspect of your life unless you're willing to do the hard things. And if you're willing to go and do things that are so hard like that, I reckon you're looking at like 0.001% of people, I'm making up figures, have probably done an ultra in their life. I'd say, well, it's like 0.1% have done a marathon. And then you're probably looking at 0.1% of those people have done an ultra. So it's like...
Sure, it's weird now. Like, a lot of people ask me, would I do a marathon? Nah.
No.
Nah.
It's just a bit
My distances, right, I figured this one out yesterday. My distances are 5, 10k, ultra marathons. That bit in the middle.
Forget about the middle bit.
Because like the ultra marathons, you can take your time. It's not a physical test. As much as it is a physical. Yeah, but I'm saying like if you had to put a percentage on what's physical, what's mental. 70% is mental. 100%. 30% is physical because you can walk it. Like there's nothing. If you have a 24-hour cap, you can walk it. If you're going out and you're doing just a straight 100-mile race, little bit different. But like Berkeley, where it's 5 laps to try and complete it, we know you're not gonna hit the 5. Just go out and enjoy it. See how far you could get. That's the thing. It's like a test of how far can you push until you break. That's what it is. And everyone's got that different breaking point, but everyone's got a different goal with it. Some people are there like, I just want to do 1 lap. And they can do 1 lap in 24 hours.
That's the great thing about the 24-hour format, to be fair.
Yeah,
you can
but that one lap where, yes, it was a marathon, but it amounts to so much more than a marathon.
Yeah.
Because you've got the incline, you've got the terrain,
you've got nettles and thorns, like there's loads.
You've got cows that chase you. Like there's so much more to do with that one race than there is like it just being a marathon loop. It is a crazy marathon loop. It's like comparing the London Marathon to like a marathon in Mont Blanc, but people will still say the London Marathon's well hard. Like
yeah, that's a weird thing. Let's squash this right now, okay? Because when I did my first ever marathon, 19, I did Chelmsford Marathon, which is actually it's a pretty flat one, but it's got more incline than London Marathon, right? So I've finished my first ever marathon, and obviously the rules of doing marathon is you have to tell everyone you ever meet ever that you've just done a marathon. That's the rules. It's the law. And I'd go to people, I've done my marathon. I've done a marathon. They're like, no way, have you actually? Yeah, and they're all excited, and they go, was it London? I go, no, it's Chelmsford. And they go, no. I'm like, it's the same distance. It's the same thing. There's just less people dressed as baguettes and bananas running around. That's what it was.
This year I done my first ever marathon.
Which was at Berkeley?
No, which was the 50k.
Oh, right.
So I done my first ever marathon 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I done my first ever continuous ultra marathon 4 weeks ago. I done my first ever continuous ultra marathon double the 50k that I've already done. My first ever real ultra marathon, if you like, a week ago. And then I hit a 5k PB yesterday.
You hit a 5k PB yesterday, 18 minutes or something.
No, 19.
Hybrid athlete.
Hybrid athlete, mate. But yeah,
Unreal.
I don't know. That, I think, yeah, I don't know. It just still hasn't settled in. Like, so my first training session back was Wednesday. I thought I'd have like 2 days off, treat myself. So we done Saturday, finished on the Sunday morning, was ruined all the Sunday. Monday, had to go into work and demonstrate loads of things as PT because that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
And then Tuesday, demoed even more. I was like, my legs are now like feeling a little bit better. Wednesday, went for a run, real slow run into the gym. And I was like asleep for half of it. I was yawning in the gym. Like, I was knackered. I was like, all right, tomorrow I might rest. Run club, done a 10k. And then Friday, what did I do Friday? Friday I done something else. And then I was like to Callum, I said, right, because me and Callum are training for something like pretty big.
Pretty fucking big,
yeah,
mate.
Pretty big.
Is it under wraps? Is it still secret?
It's still under wraps.
So we
still
can't
under
announce
wraps.
it.
We can't.
This. Okay.
We can't. We
be
will
mad.
have a
Yeah.
podcast to announce it. We'll get Callum on as well.
It's gonna be the best, craziest thing that Travis has ever done.
Yeah.
So
it's the biggest. I wouldn't say it's the. It probably is the craziest thing I've
it's
ever
the
done.
hardest thing you'll do, I reckon.
Yeah.
Physically, it'll be the hardest thing you've
I
ever
mean, it's
done.
another 100 kilometers. It's 104 kilometers to be exact. But to be
with
exact,
a bunch of other shit
yeah,
involved.
To be exact on the distance, we don't know what it actually will be. But it's another 24-hour thing, and it involves other people, it's just a big deal.
And there's a world record attempt going on.
Yeah.
So let's get excited about that.
Whoa, it's not an attempt, it's a world record.
It's a world record, yeah.
Already.
So, yeah.
But yeah,
So
we've got that next year. So Callum, like I said to Callum, we're doing a lot of training at the moment. Shall we go for a run tomorrow morning and go to park run? He was like, yeah. Well, he had no clue what park run was. Don't know why. But we ran into town and then waited for park run. And for me, when I see race and I see people, I see red. And I'm like, there's someone to catch up. And I was like, all right. See, it's like
you're competitive.
Yeah,
very competitive.
It's like a cat and mouse situation. And then I started running. I was in the pack. If I weren't in the pack, man, I would have got sub 18 easily. But sub 18, sub 19.
Right.
We started running, and it was at that point where I was like 2 kilometers down, 2 kilometers to go. I was like, right now I'm feeling Barkley. Sorry. Now
Barkley. He nearly disqualified me for getting that wrong, mate. Remember?
Now I'm feeling Barkley.
Yeah.
So I was like, right, sprint through this. Got to the end. Didn't see the 18 point something. I was like, you are joking. And I think that's still why this hasn't all settled in yet. About the Barkley. Has it settled in for you? Realistically.
I'm still hurting. So I feel it has.
So
not fully. I don't. They never do settle in though. Really. What are you waiting for?
Do you feel proud of yourself?
I do feel proud of myself.
You do?
I do feel very proud of myself. I'm proud of what the fuck I put myself through. Like I look in the mirror a little bit more like with pride now than I did before. And literally from doing that, my work ethic, my job, everything else I've done, even. So since basically I can't do any running at the moment because my leg's still fucked. It's still fucked.
Already a week after.
I know, it's still fucked. So I've just been doing loads of weights and push-ups and pretty much upper body and core. Yeah. I'm like, leave the legs alone. Leave them alone. Let them heal. And but literally even from that, so what blew my mind is at the moment I do I'll do like circuits of exercises, right? And each circuit, one of the exercises is 3 sets of 12 5 kg weighted dips.
Yeah.
So, but by the first 2 sets I can do, they're tough. And then normally, I've never been able to finish the last third, strong.
Yeah.
I've either been able to just get you going like this over the line, or I've been I have to stop at 6 for a second and go again. But this time, and with all the other things I've done, is I've realised, even though I've just focused on the running more before, so I haven't got stronger, is I can bust out the 3 sets fine. Because, and it's not because I feel stronger, but I realise in my head, I'm like, my brain has learned, you can go through way more pain than this. So I'm going at the same pace I'm normally doing, and it's hurting just as much, but it can just push through.
Yeah.
So I've realised that just from that alone, my pain threshold has gone up so much. And that's the same with work and stuff. I'm happy to sit there. And there'll be times where I'm a bit tired and bored, but I'm like, oh, mate, you've got fucking work to do. I can sit and crack on. So like, I already from one race have I seen the gains. And
do you know what?
It is cool. Yeah. It is cool.
Do you know, when I was at work, because obviously where I coach a lot of people, and they sort of come to me as like, as much as it's a weird dynamic. Mm-hmm. They look at me as their coach, and obviously you're put on this sort of pedestal of not that's where they want to be, but that's someone that they're listening to as their like inspiration and their like coaching techniques and stuff like that. So as a coach, it's sort of like what Goggins said in his podcast. Like, a lot of people see him and that's their motive. Like, I use Goggins as motivation. What he goes and does, and he's like, he has to wake up every morning and go do it because those people are seeing him do it. Yeah, it's similar to that. But I was chatting to a few people at work, and they were sort of saying like, what you've done is like crazy. I can never do anything like that. And I said to them, what I've done is my equivalent of you doing 25 minutes on a treadmill.
Boom.
Like
so true.
Yeah, like I've gone from, if I look at my 23 years, let's say, I've done one thing after the next thing after the next thing, and I've always stepped up those levels ever so slightly, but still stepping up those levels. That doesn't mean that you've got to go out and bust out 110 kilometers. Yeah. That literally means that you go from 5k to 8k, push yourself that little bit more. Or if running isn't even your thing, let's say, I don't know, like basketball is, you've played in League One, you want to go into the Champions League, go into the Champions League. If you're playing football, you feel like you could step it up a level, go play against a good team, like a better team. Like, there's so many different levels that you can push yourself past. If you stay at the same level, you're going to plateau. Like, you want to push yourself that one step further each time. That's a blessing and a curse.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's true.
That's a blessing and a curse. Now, like,
puts a lot of pressure on your life.
Yeah,
I think it is required.
It is. It definitely is. But where prior to this, it was 50 kilometres for both of us. Now we're hitting on the 100 kilometre mark. To do anything less than that, for me, running isn't... I'm not out there trying to get amazing times. You know, that's not... For me, I'm not a runner. That's not what running... I say that. Like, obviously, I do all these...
Every time we go out, you try and get amazing times.
I know. But that's not what... Yeah, but that's not what I mean. Like, when I go do these races, these actual races, like the 24-hour ones, it's not about... The Snowden is different because it is a sprint. When we're in the team, it is a sprint. But, like, let's say we go to Berkeley again. I will try and go get 3 laps. But that's more distance. For me, it's not about how quick can I do it with everything. It's how much further can I go. I think that's
I agree with that. It's all about the distance.
Because it's so different. Like, I say I'm not a runner. Obviously, I do all this running and stuff like that. I don't want to call myself a runner because there's runners out there who do more than me, who are actually there training hard as runners.
They want to compete. And
I literally do running because it's that mental threshold of how far can you push yourself now.
Yeah. I agree. It's interesting as well because I look back on the Berkeley, and obviously we were saying before, well, when we had after the 50k, we're like, we'll go for 2, but 3 would be nice. Like there was the we were pacing for 3. We wanted to get 3. We wanted to get 3, but I actually look back on the Berkeley, and I'm more pleased that I got injured and had to walk those 18 miles than if I'd smashed out the 3. Yeah. Because I learned so much more from doing that than if I just turned up, hit the 3 and gone home.
I'm happy that I done 110k, got halfway around that 6. So I done 2.5 laps. Happy that I'd done 2.5 laps. Yeah. Because now I know I've got a third in me.
You can do 3.
Yeah, I know 100%. Sure. Even the
you just need a better head torch then.
Yeah. I need like headlights. That's what I need. I need a car. Yeah, like the guy even said to me, like, you've definitely got 3. I reckon next year we'll go back and we'll both get 3. I'm fully certain.
I think we'll get 3.
And I'm glad that I didn't get 3 this year because as we are going back next year and I get 3, it's like there's no loss, no gain.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna get 3 and we're gonna go hit 10 at Snowdon.
Yeah.
10 at Snowdon. Once we always aim high, but once we hit that fat 10,
I'm done.
We're done. We're definitely probably gonna end up signing up again.
I wouldn't mind doing it solo.
Oh yeah, once we hit the 10, we'll go solo.
I wouldn't mind doing it solo. But
And then it's game on.
yeah, my favourite thing is like where you're going, well, I'm the better ultra runner because I've run further.
Yeah, now you've done me. Now you've done me.
I've added 20 kilometres onto your.
What? Yeah. But
In all fairness, he was injured.
What you were saying about, just want to go back to it, where you were saying about people look up to you at the gym.
Yeah.
But their 20k is your equivalent of 100k.
Yeah.
So I think that's so true. A lot of people I've spoke to recently, I've had quite a lot of messages actually after the Berkeley Marathon saying like, you've inspired me to get out, which is the coolest thing ever. Like that is actually the coolest thing ever. I've had like 5-6 people go, oh, I haven't spoken to in years, be like, oh mate, just to let you know, I've like got back into cycling. I've started going. I'm like, that is cool. Like that is so cool.
Someone at work go, I went out for a 12k run because someone inspired me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's so cool.
That's what I feel like it's about as well, though. Like, obviously, it's nice that's what the whole site mentality
thing is. That's the whole point of this.
Yeah, like as much as it's cool to go do it yourself, and we're in it. Like, as much as we don't want to sound selfish, we are in it for ourselves. Like, we're in it to grow as people. Definitely. We're in it to grow, like, mentally, physically. Like, we are here to grow as people. But if we can help one other person grow with us...
Yeah, agreed.
It's a big deal.
I think the reason I do ultras, and I think this is probably quite similar to yours, but we all have our own reasons, is I genuinely live by the mindset of I want to try and get at least 1% better every single day of my life. Yeah. So that in years' time, I'm exponentially growing. Because if you plateau and you get comfortable, think you're the dog's bollocks, everyone overtakes you. Yeah. You've got to think you're shit, but put in the fucking work, I think. And these ultra runs are for me, fully selfish reasons, is because it makes me stronger and it makes me better. But I believe that getting better is the most important thing in life. Yeah. If you can't wake up every day and go, I've got to do these tasks no matter how I feel, you're going to plateau and you're going to have a miserable life. And I think... Sorry, we've had to... No, go on. And I think the reason we do these things is for ourselves, but if it allows someone else... This is why we post about it, is because if someone sees it and goes, shit, they're doing stuff, what's my challenge? And if your challenge is going, I haven't been to the gym in 6 months because I don't gym, and I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to go to the gym for the first time. Even if you go in there and you don't know what the fuck you're doing, how many people go to the gym and don't know what they're doing on their first day? So the way I say, that doesn't actually matter. If you go for the first time and you just stand on a cross trainer for 10 minutes and fuck off, that's actually fine because you've gone from 0 to 1. Yeah. So you don't have to look at us doing this crazy stuff and go, oh, they're running hundreds of miles, I could never do that. What can you do?
How far can you push?
You can go out and do 1 kilometre. You can go out and do 2 kilometres. You can go do 5 push-ups. Like, as long as you look at the day before and compare yourself only to who you were yesterday, then fight against that. Yeah. Improve that. Don't compare yourself to others.
As a person, are you scared of the plateau?
Yeah, but the thing is, I go into plateaus. I go into plateaus a lot though. Yeah. That's the challenge. Like sometimes I'll get I'll do my runs, I'll get in it, but I will get to a point where I go, shit, Ted, you're actually not improving. Yeah. It's not always upward trajectory journey. It's up, down, up, down, up, down. But if you zoom out, you've gone up. Yeah. Do you see what I mean? Like over 12 months, there'll be up, downs, up, downs, up, downs. But if you look over since I started when I was 18, 5 years, I have come so far from who I was when I was 18.
I think that's what I've come to terms with now as like a sports person. Mm-hmm. I think that's my one fear in like the sports, because we're pushing ourselves to the absolute max, you know, and touch wood, we're yet to crack, as they say, you know. I'm scared of hitting that level where it's just there the entire time, hitting that plateau where you don't know. I've come to terms a lot with like purpose and all of that. There's been times where I felt lost with purpose. There are times where I felt like I'm in it, you know. But that plateau is, as a sports person, is where am I going to hit a level? Am I ever going to hit a level where it could be, let's say, UTMB, Mont Blanc, like you're there, you've hit that level, what's next? Yeah. You know, what's the pinnacle of ultra running? What's the pinnacle of endurance? What's what is it? Yeah. is there the top level, and once you hit the top level, where do you go? Because I was watching what is it, Mark Cavendish. Have you seen it? Mark Cavendish basically has a
he's the sprint cyclist,
yes,
right?
Yeah. He's got a Netflix documentary out, and it's basically the same thing. That's what made me start thinking about it. Like, he was the best cyclist in the world at one point, labelled as the best cyclist in the world. And I guess it goes for all of them. Like, same as Simone Biles as well. She's a gymnast. She's an American gymnast.
Yeah.
She was winning gold medal after gold medal. And these sports like personalities, they hit this level of being the best in the world. They've won all these competitions. Where do you go next?
Yeah. Well, mate, you've got to get to the best in the world before you can start
Oh,
worrying
no, I
about
know.
that.
No, I know. But it's not...
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot more for me to go towards. But that's what I mean with ultra running.
Yeah.
I'm not in it to be the best in the world.
Yeah.
That's not one.
Further.
Yeah,
you
it's
can
like...
always, there's always a harder race.
There is. But then there's also the scare of, is that too far? Am I going to go and say, like, the hardest geezer, let's say? Am I going to go turn around and say, I'm going to run the length of Africa?
Mm-hmm.
And then it be so ridiculously hard for myself that I'm like, I can't do it. Then that's not even a plateau. That's like, you've just gone down.
You're just not there.
Yeah, there's always that fear of, am I going to do too much? Am I not going to do enough?
Yeah.
Like, there's always that fear.
No,
I think the other thing with, like, ultra running, like, all sports and stuff like that is, when you hit a level and you push yourself even further, I've also come to terms with now, I don't want to do something that someone else is going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do something that's like new, fresh, and I can make of it as what I want.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. It's like the Berkeley Marathons, where it's in the UK, not a lot of people have done it. There's not a lot of pressure around it. But if you go to the London Marathon and you're like a marathon runner, let's just say, there's that time stamp of, that's the best person who's done it.
Yeah.
That's what you got to aim for. That's how you're going to do it. Like this, they're two different sides of it.
Yeah.
But what you can say now.
Imagine, it might be, you might worry that one day you'll hit your plateau, but imagine how many people live their lives and never find their plateau because they never actually tried to become the best version of themselves. But you have pushed yourself so hard, blood, sweat and tears, that you've then got to a point one day where you're, because if let's say you have perfect training, you have all the science, you have the best like nutritionist, everything, you've done it perfectly.
That'd be a dream.
Yeah, that'd be sick, right? And there was one day you got to a barrier. The only thing you could probably put that down to is either if you got your mindset sorted, you've got David Goggins' mindset, you got the perfect training, you've hit a plateau. You're genetics now.
Yeah.
So you can't but if you can get to a point as an athlete where you can go, the only thing that's stopping me from getting better is I've hit the best I can become, you're fucking you'll be dead by then. Yeah. You'll be 85. That
links back to like when we done that podcast with Jack, when he asked that question. It's all stemmed from like stuff like that. It's like, what do you want to be known as? What do you want to like? Will you be proud of yourself if you like die tomorrow, sort of thing? Yes and no. I feel like I've got so much more potential, so much more things that I can personally go complete, that I can show other people, that there is to life and sports and your mentality than anything else. Like, there's so much more that you can do. There's so much more that you could give to yourself, to others, and show what you're personally capable of than what we're at the moment. Which is nuts to say, since we've just come off of like the ultra marathon of ultra marathons, you know.
Yeah.
We've just got to go do Marathon to Saab.
We've just got to go do Marathon to Saab. Yeah. It's so true. I think it's weird. It's a never-ending journey of trying to get better. And you need to pick your disciplines that you want to get better in. And you have to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not being funny. We literally do have one single life on this earth. We have one revolution. 80, 90 years, you never know. By the time we're old, it'll probably be like 100 years, the average age. But still, that's like a blip in the grand scheme of things. And either you can spend 100 years of your life just being average, being normal, doing the things that are, that's enough. Like you can go to the gym 5 times a week and go for 45 minutes and give it a half-ass, get a little bit more toned, or you can fucking go to the gym and prepare for the hardest races of your fucking life. You can start getting better. You don't even have to prepare for the hardest races of your life. If you want to run, you go, right, I want to get good at 5Ks. Even if 5K, you've decided that's your discipline, Why not train to go and do the fastest fucking 5k you can possibly do? Or you want to start being a martial artist instead of just going, like tapping the bags. Oh, it's for fitness. Why not go and try and become the best? Like, I genuinely think if you're gonna dedicate to something, at least one thing in your life, whether that's fitness or non-fitness, you have to make sure that you put your all in, because it's either we can go through our entire lives just being mediocre and fitting in, or we can live our entire lives and become the very best person, not just for ourselves, but for our family and our friends. Because what's it the saying is, you become the average of your 5 friends, right?
Yeah.
And now imagine you're smashing goals, you're becoming the best you can. Your average of your entire friend group comes up then. There's a statistic I learned the other day, right? If you've got a friend, even if they live hundreds of miles away from you, and you talk to them like once or twice a year and they become morbidly obese, your chance of becoming obese goes up by 57%.
Jesus Christ.
That's just because you become who you're around.
So surround yourself with the people that are going to like push you. You'd get so much more out of it. I think that's that one thing as well. Going back to like what you were saying about find your thing. The minute you find your thing, I'm quite happy to turn around and say now, like, it's, as Goggins says, it's not motivation, it's obsession. Yeah. I'm proud to say now, I'm obsessed with the growth. Yeah. Like that, finding your own growth. I think that's the main thing. You've got to go from having that motivation and turn it into that obsession. Yeah, and I can see that you've got that. I can genuinely see that you've got that, and it is cool to be around, because it's like, it can be a little bit toxic. It can, but I'm not being funny. Everyone always got doing it for you is a different purpose. Like, I would love to for someone to turn around and say, like, if I fall out with people within that process of me being obsessed of trying to get better, is that a bad thing? Let's be honest. No, not at all. Not at all. Because if someone's getting pissed off with you trying to become the best version of yourselves, frankly, they can fuck off. Yeah. Like, let's be true. They're not worth putting in your own life if they're just going to dampen it. No, and it's sad, because there is actually people that I've been close with who, I'm not going to name anyone or anything, but as I've gotten better and done these things, I can tell that they get on the back foot a little bit. And it is upsetting, but it's like, I'm not going to stop getting better because you're now starting to put your insecurities onto me. Obsession brings out the jealousy in people. It really does. It really does. It's sad, but it is life. Because the thing is, you might lose those people. You might not lose them. They just take a step back. But then on that journey, you're going to meet other people like you. You're going to then upgrade to these people that are also on that journey. And they're the people that you're going to wake up. You're going to see a phone call from them in the morning, and you're excited to pick up the phone. Because what are they going to say? What are they going to do? And they might even just be like, "Hi, mate, nice to see you." But you know that guy's a fucking savage on the end of the phone, and he's smashing life. Yeah. And I think one of the things... smashing life. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's true, though. And it's funny you say that it's toxic, because a lot of people would say it's toxic, but I think that's because people have this weird obsession. I do believe in balance. You need some level of balance, right? You need to make sure that you're not just fully on one thing and then neglect your life. But you have to be unbalanced at times. Yeah. You have to go, I don't care if this is going to fuck me up, and I'm going to sacrifice some other stuff because I want to get good at this. I want to get better at this area of my life. So I'm going to toxically focus on making this the most important priority in my life. There's obsession in literally everything. Like, people are obsessed with their phones, but because it's a normal thing in society, it's okay. It's okay. People are obsessed with watching TV, but it's a normal thing in society, so it's okay. If you're obsessed with trying to get better with yourself, like making yourself better, you're obsessed with that, let yourself be obsessed with it, because it's okay. It might not be normal in society, but why the fuck isn't it? Yeah, it's so true. It's like it's okay and normal to be obsessed with binge eating, watching Netflix shows, knowing about the culture and fucking celebrities who you'll never meet and give no shit about you, right? Yeah. And it's okay to go out 5 days a week and drink loads of alcohol, and that's cool. People are like, I like going out. But as soon as you start being obsessed with going to sleep on time, working out hard, doing all of this shit, it's weird. People are like, what are you doing, man? Yeah. It's weird. How is that the cultural and social norm, and that it's okay to just be shit? Fact. I think that's so true, and it's quite sad. I'm getting quite like pent up about it now, because it's the whole reason Summit Mentality exists is to show people that you have so much more potential in you.
All of us. You might be the best darts player in the world for all you know.
Go play
You've
fucking
never
darts.
played darts before, so you
Yeah.
never know. Like, just try lots of things.
And if someone's
put the
like, there's
passion in.
always going to be someone out there who says, you can't, you shouldn't,
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that you're doing, like, let them talk, let them say it, don't let it affect you, just keep doing what you're doing, let yourself grow 1% each day, and then that's it.
It's so true. If someone's throwing insults at you and making you feel like shit, if they're someone that you don't want to be like at all, you don't want to represent who they are, you don't want any of their traits, then take it as a compliment. Because they're insulting you, but the person insulting you is someone that you have no interest in being like. So thank you. You don't like me because I'm different to you, but I want to be different to you. So it's like, stop. That I actually think the biggest thing is who we're around.
Yeah.
I think that's so true. And
surround yourself around the people that you want to be like and you want to learn from.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Every day you're learning. Every day is like a teaching day.
Yeah.
Every day is a learning day. You just got to go in with that mindset. And then if you are obsessed with something, you will get better at it 1% each day because you're going out there, out of your way to make yourself better.
Yeah. Be obsessed with it. Own it.
Yeah.
And be the fucking best.
I think we should round off there.
I think we should round off. I started shouting quite a lot.
Motherfucker! Yeah, come on.
Nice.
I like that one.
Big up.
Bush.
Thank you very much. Oh, also, we'll just do it. Well, we said it before in the not the documentary, the podcast, but one of the things that we do want to get more people on is Snowdon 24 for next year.
Snowdon 24 and Run Club.
Yeah, Run
If
Club.
you're local to Chelmsford, every Thursday, 7:30 p.m, meeting over at
just outside front of Weatherspoons in Central Park.
Come meet there. We might start doing a 10k at 7 o'clock soon, but sign up, go to our website, sunmentality.com. You'll be able to sign up there. You get put into a group channel. The updates are in the group channel.
Boim. That was a new word.
We've also got a discount code for Snowdon24, which we will release on our Instagram. So follow us at Summit Mentality Official.
Yeah, Snowdon. That's a good one, Snowdon 24. Especially if you already come to Run Club. We've already got like 9-10 people coming, but we want to just get as many people there doing it. You can either do it solo, duo, as a team. It's how many times can you go up and down Mount Snowdon in 24 hours. Yeah. It's a fantastic race. The community there's amazing. The whole event's super well organised. And why not come do it together with a load of friends?
It's a good race to push yourself for because not only do you get a mountain to sort of like get to the peak of, you feel fucking amazing when you hit the peak. You get a good view. You get to meet so many cool people. Everyone there is like, that's the thing with ultras, with any sort of running, everyone's going through the same pain. I've done many sports. Boxing, there's a bit of discipline within it, but before you get in the ring with everyone sort of hates you. With running, everyone's sort of there going through the same shit and they just want to help you out. It's such a nice community.
Yeah, it is lovely.
It's a good thing to get involved with. Snowdon 24, come along. We'll get a discount code soon. We'll release it.
It's a perfect race as well because even if it's 24 hours, and it's open to all fitness levels, really. Because even if you go and you walk up and down it one time, you still get your medal. You still finish. You get your time and everything.
Well, get your coaster.
Yeah, you get a coaster.
Please bring out
medals. I did send an email. I've never sent an email in my life, but I was jacked up and I was like, where's my medal? Yeah, so
they've just made Ted a medal.
It's fantastic. You can either go and you can beast it, do 5, 6 and not be able to walk for 5 days, or you can go do it once, just have a nice time with your friends and sorted. So...
But yeah, thank you for listening.
Lovely.
Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it inspired you that tiny little bit. Hope we helped one person out at least.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah. Go out for a run today. Or the gym.
Enjoy. But yeah, follow us, Summit Mentality Official.
Sorted. Bye-bye.